Come on up, everyone. Our next panel, they don't settle for common. They're in the same position where they're looking for something different also. So please join us. I guess we're supposed to sit underneath our pictures. So I'm going to sit right here. Come on up, guys. You like that? Yeah. Come on in. Let's have some fun. What is Industry 4.0 technology, guys? What's that mean? I was just told to tell you guys. Hey, can you do me a favor, everyone? First, thank you so much for joining us. It's so nice to see all of your faces. So, you might have to share. There we go. Got enough? So do us a favor and tell us your name, where are you from, the name of your business, and what is your cool factor? What makes you cool? Everyone's going, ooh, cool. So we'll start in the end. Go ahead.
My name is Matt Roberts. I'm the Director of Customer Experience for UNOX Middle East. We are a manufacturer of intelligent combination ovens in Italy. I've been in the region around 7 years now. I don't think I'm very cool at all, but I close the office at 12:30 on a Friday, so I'm sure my staff think I'm quite cool in that regard.
That's what's going to make you cool. That's what's going to go on your mantle of coolness.
That's me.
Have you done something that pushed you to another level? Did you ever have a near-death experience? Have you climbed Mount Everest backwards?
I'm a deep-sea scuba diver.
There you go.
There we go. Semi-professional rugby player in my past as well. And I have twins on the way.
There you go. That cool factor jumped up. Go ahead, tell us who you are, what do you do, and what makes you cool?
Absolutely. Hi, nice to meet everybody here. So I'm Saurabh. I'm from India, and I lead the channel and alliances for Foodics. At Foodics, what we do is we provide an end-to-end cloud-based restaurant management solution, which is meant for restaurants and cloud kitchens across the region to use us to better optimize their operations and make it easy for them to scale. I think what's cool about Foodics or about
you?
About me, all right. So I like music, so I compose music in my spare time, and I also am a long-distance runner.
There you go. Thank you. All right. What's your name? What are you doing? What makes you cool?
So I'm Naji Haddad. I'm the GM of Deliverect in MENA. Deliverect is a SaaS-based company that integrates delivery channels into point-of-sale systems to help restaurants scale on delivery platforms. So we are a backbone of online ordering for restaurants. What makes me cool is my sneaker collection, especially Air Jordans. That's what makes me cool.
Well, you have a collection of different sneakers?
Sorry?
You have a collection of different?
Yeah, I'm a sneaker head.
So you heard us talk about...
don't judge me, but...
no, that's okay. You heard us talk about drops earlier?
Sorry?
Drops, when they drop.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal, right?
Yeah, I follow that.
So what have you paid for a sneaker? Like what would...
Oh, come on, that's...
come on.
Don't ask me that question.
Just give us an idea.
Me or my wife?
Somebody in the family has paid what?
2,000 maybe?
Really?
Dirham.
Do you wear them?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Cool and crazy.
But it appreciated 300%. So I can sell it now at the same price.
Would you still wear them that they appreciated 300%?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
That's cool. All right, so tell us who you are, what are you doing, what makes you cool?
My name is Mohamad Sabeh. I work for Kaykroo. I'm the COO of Kaykroo. We do cloud kitchen, so which is the main topic of our conversation today. And what makes me cool, I think, is that I question myself every day in the morning about what I've decided the day before, and I always try to, take it into as I change my mind a lot, but in a positive way. So it's about questioning self. So
wait, are you questioning yourself as in confidence, or, when you mean,
no.
What's that mean by questioning?
In perfecting things, in making things better and better and better. So
you're always trying to elevate and upgrade yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It's not so cool.
It really isn't, by the way, because I think we all do that.
Yeah.
So try something deeper.
Oh, yeah. Okay, what makes me cool?
You're on this stage right here, which means you've done incredible things to get here.
Well, yeah, what makes me cool is I've decided that recently to catch up the cloud kitchen wave, because I've been in the traditional restaurant industry for several years, for like 25 years.
Wow.
And just recently, 4 months ago, I just decided to catch up on this wave and
Did you
join
close your
this.
other restaurants, or do you still have your restaurants?
No, I was in the restaurants as I was part of teams of restaurants. I didn't have my own restaurants, and I was a consultant for the past 3 years. So with this now cloud kitchen era, I saw the great vision of Kaykroo, and I saw it's a great opportunity to join this and to change the course of my whole life and the experience into something that is new, that has technology at the core, and that has also plenty of opportunities of incremental growth. And
I hear everything you're saying. Are you happy with the decision?
yeah, great.
Okay.
Yeah, very happy, very happy. Yeah.
Peter, tell us who you are, what do you do, and what makes you cool?
My name is Peter Schatzberg. I'm the founder and CEO of Sweetheart Kitchen, which is a private label portfolio of virtual brands available for delivery only. We're live in Kuwait and in several Emirates in the UAE. I wouldn't say that I define myself as cool.
You are
at all,
cool. I know your background. You're cool.
but I've launched companies on 3 different continents. But I think really if we're talking about cool or unique, I would say I'm very, very disciplined in my personal and professional life, to the extent that probably other people seek out to kind of, what's the word, borrow some of that special sauce, so to speak.
Yeah, you mentor a lot of people. They watch what you do.
It seems to be the case, yes.
You're very well followed.
What I really try to do in the organization is have one-on-ones with all the different levels in the organization and build personal relationships with everybody. So I think people really appreciate that.
So I'm very transparent in the way we do things, and I want you guys to do the same thing, because this is teaching moments for the people that are sitting out there. Who here is in the cloud kitchen space? Raise your hand. Who here owns a restaurant? Raise your hand. Who here likes food? Just a few of you. Okay, good. Okay. So what's your thought, Peter? Well, Mohamad said, yep, I'm jumping on this trend, this fad. Does that frustrate you or does that excite you?
I think this is just the infancy of a global trend. It's not a fad. It's like saying when drive-through was implemented in brick and mortar, was that a fad or a trend? It turned out to be something very big. Delivery at scale has been around for the better part of a decade. So no, I don't think it's a trend. I think that incorporating technology deep into a kitchen environment is where we're kind of at right now. And the notion of virtual brands is nothing special. I'm from New York, and 15 years ago, Chinese restaurants were building virtual brands that were the exact same menu as their brick and mortar establishment, so they could double their delivery sales online. So I don't think the virtual component of brands is that innovative. It's the tech that's going into the kitchens right now that is particularly special.
Got it. So where are the current, thank you, where are the current challenges in this space? Where, all of you, current challenges that you guys are at least jumping over, or are you assisting in to help manage someone else for not going to those situations? Current challenges.
I would say definitely labour. Nick mentioned it on the last panel. Labour shortage is really difficult for these guys at the moment. But also margins. Margins is always the biggest challenge. So anything we can do as a manufacturer to look at reducing time of cooking by just 5%, or increasing the quality by 5%. Any of these small little things we can do helps these guys over the course of the year incredibly.
So I think, in my view, I think on the conversations that we have with a lot of operators across the region, I think one of the biggest challenges that is put on the table is that the choice of technology that goes in, because see, as purely from a context of a cloud kitchen, it's a very order-intensive, delivery-intensive business. It is delivery, right? And when it comes to delivery, it's all about operations. So it's the choice of the point of sale, choice of your delivery partner, choice of all the technologies that go in, which can break the silos of using different technologies that go into building an entire successful cloud kitchen. I think that's one of the biggest things that we've seen in so many conversations, is that how do you get all of these technologies to talk to each other so you can leverage data in the best possible way.
Exactly what you said.
Yeah.
Technology is really important. and data.
Yeah, I mean, building on that, what Saurabh said is, what are the most challenges of cloud kitchens is, because they're only on delivery, right? So, and if you want to be on delivery, so that means that you need to have a minimum of 4 channels, right? If you're not going exclusive. But also, if you want to increase your scalability and profitability, that means you're probably also running multiple brands. So running a kitchen with multi-brand operation is very complex, right? So we're talking about a lot of errors. We're talking a lot of maybe manual work or a lot of complexity to manage all of these menus, tablets. Because if you think about it, if you manage this manually, that's if you have 10 brands in a location, that means 10 times 4 tablets, you're probably going to manage 40 touch points on an order receiving stuff. So what we see here is, yeah, you need to find the technology to enable that and automate that process. So when the customer orders that food, it goes directly into the kitchen staff operator. So there's no manual work. And at the same time, it's exactly how the customer ordered it, right? Because the way that we see it now, most of the kitchens are adapting to the new technologies. However, but there's still some that are not there yet. But this is something that's been very crucial from the beginning to kind of integrate those delivery channels into their operating system with their own point of sale and sending the order exactly how it is.
Got it. Mohamad?
Yeah, so just leveraging on what Naji just said, it's, in the food business, consistency has always been the elephant. So getting the right consistent product every time with the massive amount of orders that you might have in a cloud kitchen, considering that you have more than 10 brands in the kitchen, sometimes in some cases it's 20, just like in our case. So, and having those team members memorizing all the processes, they have to be supported by technology. And when I say technology here, it's software technology and hardware technology. So UNOX, for example, they are combining both. So when we talk about technology 4.0, it's about the Internet of Things. And that's what they've done. So they've integrated the internet and the data, and so they have something called data-driven cooking, right? So this will help the team members and the employees to cook consistently all the time and every time they have the order. So another challenge is growing at scale. With this, there are plenty of opportunities, and the space is very big for the cloud kitchens. With the advancement of technology, you have to grow at full speed and at the same time trying to maintain your quality, consistency, and serving your customers right every time. So these are the main challenges. And I think that technology and utilizing properly technology is one of the most important keys to success in this challenge.
Got it. Peter?
I think the panel did a nice job covering the technological and operational and financial challenges of whether it's virtual or any sort of business in F&B. So I'm sitting here thinking, and maybe as a founder or CEO, while you're scaling a business, your challenges are evolving. Recently we're dealing with geopolitical challenges that you normally would never encounter as an operator or really even think about. And now that's translating into post-COVID supply chain shocks and maybe hyperinflation, certainly inflation, with vendors contacting you out of nowhere, or you actually know it's coming with price increases. So I think as your business evolves and grows larger, your issues become bigger and also less in your control.
Right.
When I had a single business in New York in the U.S., the issues that I faced were dealing with one landlord. I didn't care what the government was doing. Labor issues were limited to whether I would pay someone an extra 25 cents an hour. Now we're dealing with Kuwait's borders have been closed for quite some time now, and we're importing an army of people from India. And these are beyond my comprehension, the kind of issues I would ever be facing. But those are the kind of challenges that I'm realizing as you get bigger are less within your control, but nevertheless you wake up and you still behave like you have some say in the matter and try to tackle your challenges as best as you can and go with it.
You articulated it quite well. Talk to us about what it takes to acquire a customer. It's a busy landscape, right? How do you stand out, and what's that cost to acquire?
Does someone want to answer before me?
You go for it. You start.
Look, in virtual, when I first started participating in this space, I felt I considered brands as virtual real estate, that your rent that you were paying was a function of the commission. And it seems rather intuitive to me that you wouldn't sell things that people don't want. So you kind of identify your product market mix, and you're not going to be in business very long if what you're doing people don't want to buy. Certainly in virtual, I think you have a better shot of getting that first opportunity than you might get in brick and mortar, just my view, at least when you're working with aggregators, because the customers are captive, the audience is there, there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people going to these apps on a daily basis, and the apps give you a fair shot at attracting new customers by prominently displaying you and giving you the opportunity to impress on your first opportunity. And if you fail, you probably have several months of failing before you are not going to learn. So in that regard, I think you kind of have to have an idea of what the customer is looking for, and if they're looking for premium, then you better price and appear premium and then deliver on that proposition. And if your value, as we are, give a reasonable product with reasonable quality at a very fair price.
But is there a cost in your mind to acquire that customer? So, I mean,
there's a cost to anything, sure. I don't look at working in virtual as an acquisition cost, so to speak, like you would traditionally think of. We spend this much to acquire a customer and their LTV is this. I look at it as we are committed to paying a commission for the lifetime of this customer, so it's more focused on what is our long-term margin on the customer rather than what is the one-time cost to acquire them.
So people out there are kind of wondering, what would that, for them to at least estimate, it's going to take for them to acquire? I know I'm trying to get you down to that.
Your acquisition cost is in perpetuity in the form of a commission.
Okay. You're dancing around it, but I mean, there's got to be a cost. Is it 75? Is it 75 dirham? Is it 400 dirhams? And is there a loyalty factor attached to that then too? Do you always have to reacquire because of the landscape? Mohamad?
Yeah, there's no specific cost of acquisition. Yeah, just like I was saying, there's no specific cost of acquisition of the customer.
That's hard.
And with more competition, and the competition here is not only about cloud kitchens. Let's not forget also the traditional restaurants. Yeah. And every food business, supermarkets, for example, or the kitchen at home, is a competition. So with all of these competitions growing and with the technology advancement nowadays, you cannot estimate a cost of acquisition of your customer for one time. So it's just like he was saying, it's an ongoing
retention
percentage.
Is what he said.
Yeah,
Real
so it's kind of a retention. And I also would like to stress on the fact that you have to do it right the first time. And if you don't do it right the first time, you will start losing on your visibility on the aggregators. So, and this is going to push you down, and it's going to cost you then much more to be visible again and to be seen by the clients. Okay. Because the landscape there is very huge, and there are thousands of restaurants that are listed on each and every aggregator.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah,
right.
It is crazy. So what you have to do is to invest in your operations so that, and in utilizing properly technology so that you would do less mistakes and thus reduce the cost of keeping your client.
I saw that you're shaking your head. In your mind, it's all about retention? Is there a cost in your mind? Is there something, again, teaching moments for the audience?
Yes, actually, I just wanted to bring another dimension to the mix. And I think it's for most of the virtual brands, the biggest problem is to first understand that where the virtual brand will fit in the market, right? So I think today, I mean, the traditional way of acquiring customers has always been that you build a brand and then you go about acquiring customers, you're doing your regular marketing, etc. But I think taking a step back, today we've got tools and technology available, and there are solutions available to understand through actual data what the gaps in the market are, where there's underutilization of capacity, what kind of menu, what kind of brand is likely to fit in. So basically what you're doing is you're increasing your chances of success with a particular brand, leveraging the right gap in the market. And I think with the evolution of, coming back to the theme of this conversation is about leveraging 4.0, that's where actually you can leverage a lot of the goodness of analytics to minimize and maximize the return on any of the marketing dollars that most of these brands spend, right?
Yeah, so it's about maximizing the output of your investment, just like I was saying. So whenever you want to open a cloud kitchen, so there's a lot of capex involved, and you want every penny to count. You want your return on investment to be increased, and this is by also, like I was saying, so analyzing properly the hyperlocal demand supply and trying to serve properly the highest the cuisines which are highest in demand, and here you will have a better return on investment.
I get it. And our last panel, the restaurateurs talked about that story that goes along with that restaurant and how that story is so important. Does that same thing apply to a virtual brand? Is this on a cloud kitchen?
Definitely. Virtual brands, they have a big challenge versus the brick and mortar restaurants, because when you are in a virtual space, you need to stand out. And to stand out, you should always have a story. Your brand should have some unique character. It should have a USP. It should have something that is unique about it and attract customers, and you should remain memorable in the mind of the clients, so that when they go into the aggregator app, they look for you. Because most of the times people are hungry and they just open an aggregator app and they start scrolling and they push on whatever comes to their attention first. So what you want to do is to leverage that and improve your visibility and the awareness, and plus purpose is key. There should be a purpose, and communication is very important, so that people will think of you first when they get hungry. And this is very challenging with all these restaurants. Again, I'm saying this in this cloud space.
For such a small area, there's so many choices.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you've seen this in New York. It's just massive. Do you feel like you're kind of like in the App Store sometimes, where you have to be seen and recognized and come up on top? Do you feel that way? It's almost like having that SEO type of relationship you need? Peter, you can answer.
I think the 80-20 rule applies, where probably the top 20% of the restaurants on the app, or maybe even it's a smaller concentration, do the majority of the volume. A lot of brick and mortar can't participate because they can't handle the parallel work streams between retail volume and delivery, or maybe they pivoted a little bit during COVID, but as we go back to normal, their priority will always be non-commission retail eyeball-facing customers. Want to add anything?
Well, yeah, it's for this space, it is always important to remain on top. And just like you were saying, when you go to an app store, you look at the rating first. So rating is key. And you want to guarantee that your rating is high. And here again comes operational excellence and how you do things and how you deliver your products. Also engineering your menu all the time based also on the data, because again, we're speaking here about technology 4.0, which is all about the Internet of Things, and it's all about analyzing data. So data is key.
You're saying technology and data. I mean, you keep on saying this over and over again.
Yeah.
It sounds like you'd rather have a cloud kitchen than a brick and mortar.
Well, yeah, this is actually, this is what brought my attention to Cloud Kitchen, because I see that previously, let's say in the past few decades, restaurants did not utilize technology as other industries did, whereby this new era of the cloud kitchens recently in the past few years, it created a big opportunity to utilize technology properly. And actually, in the past 3 years with the COVID, it forced restaurants to adopt technology and to start changing their behaviors.
I want to go to Matt. Matt, what's the cost to open a cloud kitchen? Can it be quantifiable? Can you say, hey, you want to get in this space? This is the ballpark you got to be within?
No, I could tell you the cost of the oven, but these guys will better answer that question than me.
But I think there's a lot of research that says probably 1/5 of a restaurant.
1/5 of a restaurant.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes it exciting. But it's still, there's a lot of work to be done, right? But I mean, building on what Mohamad was saying is about the menu engineering, and so you start at restaurant.
Talk a little closer to the microphone.
So you're starting with multi-brands already. So also your biggest cost is just how to manage those multi-brands and the complexity of that as well, and building on the marketing and building on the positioning of those brands. And for example, keep changing your menu engineering, and having the ability to keep testing and A/B testing. Like for example, one of our like nice stories of dear clients of mine. So they started a virtual brand that went very well, that they eventually opened a physical restaurant for it. And it's also, it works on the other way, right? So the mix today of brick and mortar and cloud kitchen is becoming very exciting. And we're seeing that because those guys, they're seeing the data, and based on the data, they're trying to analyze and understand, you know what, maybe this could translate and it can become a successful brick and mortar business.
Is that something you would like to see, as it does so well on the virtual side to turn
Yes,
into a brick and mortar?
definitely it is. Now, the hybrid is also a new, also trendy word within the restaurant space. So you hear it a lot, especially during like the past year. And this comes with the challenges that most of the cloud kitchens that are encountering whenever the brand is facing challenges in remaining top of mind, and the brand has potential and it has content, then they turn it into a brick and mortar brand, and then it flies faster. Because when you have this physical experience as a client in the restaurant, then it will be memorable more, and it will remind you of this restaurant, and you will order probably more frequently. Back to your main question, which is the cost of starting up a cloud kitchen. There's no rule of thumb, and you can start as small as like 100K, and you can go up crazy like to millions, because it depends on your objective, whether you want to serve 3 or 4 brands from this kitchen, or you want to go with like 50 brands from the same kitchen. Also, as well, there are several types of the cloud kitchen nowadays, which is some of them are really virtual in a way where it doesn't take you any penny to start up this virtual brand. You just look out for a kitchen that is underutilized in a hotel or in any other restaurant, and you go and launch a brand that you have created, and you start getting royalties from there. And plenty of operators are doing that as well. So it can be as small as the initiation of and creation of a brand, a virtual brand, and it can go as big as millions of capex.
So part of the whole process is delivery, and many of that is outside your own hands now, because you're working with a third party. But that's part of the experience, because if it shows up cold or just not prepared properly, it's still looked upon as your responsibility.
Exactly.
How do you control that situation, or how do you establish a good relationship so the food comes the way you want it to see, be prepared properly? Which
I think Peter has.
Peter?
This is my favorite subject. Look, there's going to be then an inherent conflict between the operators and the aggregators, because there are no real SLAs agreed to in advance. And in my view, I believe that all restaurants are suffering the same as me. So we're all at the same equivalent disadvantage, so to speak. And that's how I go to bed at night, because it's really a very frustrating sort of thing. We track, and it's difficult to advance. And they have their own rider shortages, as an example. So you can kind of just accept that this is part of the experience the consumer now understands. You can adapt your cuisines somewhat. Certain food is more transportable. Unfortunately, people really like fried food. Fried food does not travel well. French fries do not travel well, and they have yet to come up with a good French fry that can sit around for 20 or 30 minutes and not steam in its own heat. And and that's that's where we're at today. And I'm sure that I couldn't do a better job than the aggregators are doing at managing the riders and managing logistics. So you work within your confines, you adapt your cuisine, but I think we're all in the same boat on that one.
You're saying it's actually understanding on the consumer side. They go, I expect this, right?
Consumers want the convenience. There are aggregators that I think charge larger delivery fees, and in return, as a consumer, you can appreciate a better delivery experience in return. I do see some differentiation across the aggregators on that. If you don't want to pay a delivery fee, there's an aggregator for you, but you should expect a longer service time and lower quality cuisine in return.
You guys are all agreeing with this, right? You
Yeah.
feel exactly what he's saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, some kitchens or restaurants or cloud kitchens, when they have very high volume, they can afford to have their own riders. So what they can use from the aggregators is only the marketplace. However, now again, the aggregators have made their comeback in this scenario where they are offering very low rates on providing logs-only service, so that they would again let the restaurant or the cloud kitchen be connected to them again and needs them back in this service. And when this restaurant gets used to this service, again, they will bring him more in, and they might increase their services. And the big challenge now with this space and with the cloud kitchens and the aggregators is having clear regulations from authorities, because there are no regulations nowadays that, let's say, rule in terms of a certain cap for the percentage. And I think that some states in the United States have started to manage that and started to have their input on what is the cap of the percentage, because it can go crazy and it can go wild. Once you are fully dependent on the aggregator, they can go as like 35, 40%. Who knows in the future if there are no regulations that confine them.
But
And
you feel it's necessary to have that regulation.
yeah, sure, definitely.
You want to
There
see
should
that.
be. Yeah.
Anyone else want to contribute to that topic about what the consumer actually sees when it's delivered? Is there an opportunity to see a game-changing something happening there?
Yeah, so this is the hardest part for a bricks and mortar restaurant when they go virtual. Getting that same quality, because 5-10 years ago, people used to order from a restaurant and it would come from that kitchen with their drivers. So you know the head chef has checked over it, it's as per their standards, and they send it out. Now we go to the virtual kitchens where there's a lot more brands, and the restaurant owner or the head chef's not actually there to see over it. It's just they've sent the training and they've sent the brands. Getting that same quality out the kitchen with as quick as possible, because delivery is all about time now. So it's all about reducing the time down in the kitchen, but making sure the product is exactly the same as when they got it when they were first dining. And this is one of the, going back to your first question, this is one of the hardest challenges when it's not just a virtual brand that's come in from the beginning, when it's a bricks and mortar to a virtual, because people expect that quality. And that's what they've got to try and do. So what we do with our equipment, we make sure it's got the technology inside of it, where once the head chef in the restaurant has programmed exactly what he wants, say the perfect chicken kebab, it comes out exactly like he does. He can then go back to his restaurant and rest assured that the oven does it every time. So he's not relying on a human side to it. It's more about what the oven does, and the oven makes sure it'll know how much food is in there. It will know whether there's 1 kebab or 10 kebabs, and it will change the parameters itself inside with the technology. So rather than having a human error and someone getting a bad delivery, they're getting the same chicken out every single time.
Consistency.
Exactly, and the guys can make sure it goes out at a slightly higher temperature as well, so it does travel a lot better. So when it gets to the door, it's not getting 55 degrees or something dangerous. It's getting 70, 75 degrees.
Yeah, it's a very valid. I think I agree with what everybody has submitted over here. I think delivery for a lot of the brands is the first touch point with the customer. So that becomes the central place where you'll know that firstly it's a delivery of the promise that the brand has, both in terms of time and the quality of food, right? And I think there has been in the last year and a half, 2 years, there has been the maximum amount of innovation in the delivery space, because a lot of the traditional dine-in restaurants have also had to pivot to delivery business. And whether you're having your own fleet or whether you're having a third-party logistics company to manage your entire delivery operations. So this has been one area where it has been traditionally very disconnected. But I think now with all the goodness of, again, AI and delivery data really available, you're able to now cut down the delivery times, optimize the driver tracking, scheduling, etc. So it's a choice of your delivery partner for your brand also is extremely important, and how that visibility for their entire last mile delivery comes into play is, it could be a game changer for a lot of the physical as well as virtual brands.
So here you go. We're running out of time. I want us to end this way. Your business the company that you represent, you own, you started, you founded, whatever it is, I want you to create a vivid vision. 3 years from now, what does your business look like? Okay, what does your business look like in 3 years? Keep it in about 30 seconds. Go for it. What's your business look like in 3 years?
So even though we have a lot of technology in our company, it's all about service for us, after-sales service, having someone on the ground there ready to go into the kitchens. We have chefs. So in every single market we are available in, which is over 120, we have to have a person, a chef, a technician, for the follow-up service to make sure everyone who buys one of our equipment, and they go for the future for the next 10 years, they keep coming back.
Vivid vision 3 years from now.
So for us, I think our vision is that we want to be globally a one-stop shop for restaurants, offer cloud kitchens for the entire restaurant operations. So we want to be that one-stop shop, not only for us tech, but as far as payments and capital is concerned.
Shoeman, 3 years from now.
For us, I mean, we want to become the backbone of online delivery or online ordering for restaurants to help them thrive and make sure that they don't have to worry about all of these nitty-gritties, right? They just focus on whatever they love to do best, which is creating great food, and we'll take care of the whole
So
thing.
instead of we want to be, in 3 years from now, we are the, right? Three years from now.
So in 3 years, we are the unicorn of great food, serving 50 million meals with unmatched experiences. And that will be achieved by providing a comprehensive cloud tech and slash kitchen operation, which is going to be dominating the whole process from ordering till the end delivery.
Good vision. 3 years from now.
We are the turnkey solution for aggregators who in any market are looking to have a portfolio of private label brands for the consumer that would give them anything from, would give them logistics efficiencies and other sort of optimizations across the entire supply chain.
Good vision. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me up on the panel. Let's thank them for educating us in their wisdom and knowledge. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah.